How to stop being the creepy Indian guy. So step number one, don't stare at people. So see, there's a lot of Indian guys, Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and obviously not every single one of them is doing this, but there's a lot of them that do this, which is when you walk into a room and they see a pretty woman or they see some guy who's being cool and funny and charismatic, they'll be like this long 30-second stare. I've had times when I walk in and I'll look around and there'll be some guy staring at me. And then it's like, oh, that's creepy. And then I'll look after 30 seconds and he's like still looking at me like, eh. Like, don't do that. Please, don't stare at people. If you know somebody, go walk up and talk to them. And if you don't know them, and then just a quick half a second glance at somebody, after that, it's like when you stare at people too long, just creepy. You are creeping people out without knowing. Second thing is when you approach people, don't ask 1,000 questions. So a lot of Indian guys will do is they'll walk up to somebody and walk up to a girl, walk up to another guy, and start asking questions. So what's your name? What's your mother's name? What's your father's name? Where are you from? How old are you? How long have you been here? Like like a machine gun. It's okay to ask questions here and there to keep the conversation going, but don't ask a million questions. And for people that grew up back in India, and I've lived in India, it's okay to be like that. That's the culture down there. On that side of the world is, oh, so you walk up to people and be like, hey, what's your name? What's your father's name? What's your last name? What's your first name? How old are you? Are you married? Are you single? How many kids? What part of town? Did you go to college? Which college? What did you study? Math, science, English, computer science. So that's acceptable back there. But if you live in the US, people will creeped out by that. When you ask a million questions going, it happens with me all the time. And these people are nice people. I want to have conversation. They just don't know how to do it. Like, don't ask 1,000 questions. Learn to make statements. It's like, oh, it's beautiful weather out there. Did you catch the game last night? Ah, yeah, I like the shoes. Where'd you get those from? Or just a statement. Oh, I like the people over here. Oh, I went to school with that guy over there. Or whatever, in a public place, in a party, in a social gathering. Learn to have conversations with people without asking 2 million questions. That'll help you, A, fit in better, help you have better conversations with people, make them feel comfortable around you. The third thing is knowing when to back off. So you walk up to somebody, whether it's a girl, a guy, your manager, the executive in your company, whatever, and you strike a conversation, you guys start talking. But if that person's not interested in talking to you, know when to back off and walk away and give that person space. So you walk up and go, let's say, talk to one of the leads in your company, one of the executives, and you start talking to him, and you see signs that he is not interested in talking to you. He wants to go talk to somebody else. Just know when to back off and give the other person space. Or let's say you meet a girl outside and you're talking to her in a public place, in a supermarket, at the grocery store, and you start talking to her. Know when to leave people alone. It's like, well, it gets creepy when you want to like keep going. The other person like trying to back off or like do something, but you're like cornering them, and you want to keep talking to them, but the other person's not interested. Being able to read body language and knowing when to back off. The other person's interested, not interested. You have to know, you have to be able to read that and give people space. This will help you improve your social skills. This will help you connect better with people. People like you better, and will result in you having more friends, your network growing, and eventually making more money, meeting more attractive women, or whatever your goal is. The other thing is having friends that are not Indian. Now, a lot of Indian people, the only friends they have is Indian people. So right off the bat, they have something in common with them. So it's like, oh, my friend, and then you can start talking about, oh, did you move here from Bombay? You moved here from Bangalore, and you have things in common with them, which is great. But expand your social circle, meet people that are different from you. Become friends with them. Go out and do things with them. Make them feel comfortable around you so they want to be friends with you. This way, and especially people that grew up in this country, this way, um, you're learning more about the culture in the U.S. You're learning more about how people behave, what people like doing. You're learning about the culture. You're learning about habits. You're learning about ways and means to get around. Especially if you want to live in this country, but if you don't care and you just want to like be here for a little bit and then go back home, then you don't have to do all this. But if you choose to make this your home and you moved here from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or whatever, you want to live here, learn the culture, learn the customs, learn the holidays, learn all these things so that you can fit in better. You understand what people are thinking, what's going on in their head. This will help you connect better with your clients. This will help you connect better with people in general, with women, all different people all around on a wide spectrum. So make friends outside your little bubble. The next thing is haircut, hygiene, proper fitting clothes, polished shoes. Take some time to work on your appearance. So, wear clothes that fit you. Get help from people that know anything about clothes so you can buy clothes, proper clothes. Most Indian people I've seen are in good shape. So, so they eat fairly healthy food, like a lot of home cooked Indian food, which is so much better than McDonald's and Burger King and all that shitty food out there that's making people in this country fat, obese. So compared to them, the average Indian guy is in decent shape because he eats Indian food most of the time. But proper fitting clothes, polished shoes, haircut, that's extremely important. Get a freaking haircut once a month at least, once every 3 weeks. You see a lot of frumpy Indian guys with like hair growing on top of your ears, and it should be clean over here. It should be cut. This way, you just look, you have that clean cut. Doesn't matter if you're balding or if you have a full head of hair, either way, keep it clean, keep it trimmed so you look good. Now they'll make a good impression on people when you meet them. Now, next one is just because another person looks Indian, don't assume that that person is your friend. So this happens with me all the time. I'll be in a public place and people walk up to me and be like, "Oh, so you're Indian too? What part of town? Where in India are you from? Where's your family from? How long have you been here? What kind of job do you have? Blah, 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 blah." I'm like, dude, I don't know you, and I don't know if I want to talk to you because you're acting creepy. Or people will walk up to me and start talking in Hindi. Like, I'm like, what? It's just, they just assume we're friends. Oh, because we look like we're from the same country, we should be friends now. It's like, you gotta talk to people and see who this person is. And get to know them and see if that person even wants to talk to you before you can start finding out those commonalities. But here's the thing. Don't assume that if a person looks Indian, they just immediately want to be friends with you. It's like, oh, it's my homeboy. He may or may not. You might have things in common with him, or you might not have things in common with him. So you have to get to know the person. It's like you've got to put your toes in the water before you jump in the pool to see what the temperature of the water is before you dive in. So take it slow. Well, hope you'll like this video and enjoy the few tips I've given. My intention is not to put people down, but to help people, so don't get me wrong.